Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm Pxy-VERSE. We are back after some time, and here we are addressing a starship called Neocene V deck. So this is very basic, of course. We're gonna develop upon that. I'm gonna make some sketches here with annotations and sketch out some ideas. My main reference here for this, so this will be sketch, yeah, so deck sketch, whatever. That'll make it things easier. So can I, yes, it's working. So here, because sometimes it's not working, maybe it's invisible and whatever, and sometimes it's there might be other things to be wary about. Maybe I should sketches. Alright, annotations are not as powerful as grease pencil, but we can convert them to grease pencil to let them be more reliable, more versatile. If we want to move the whole the whole thing, we can with grease pencil, but not with annotations. So I cannot edit these annotations, they are not an object, right? So what is that? I don't know what is this thing. Oh, I see, some temporarily things that I've from another scene. Yeah, so we're gonna navigate on other scenes just so that, yeah, those are not relevant right now. So I want just to delete this thing. Here, how do you do that? Annotate eraser, I think that, okay, something like that should be good. Alright, I can use my own graphic palette, which has yeah, the button to do that also. It's easier. So something I'm missing the shortcut here. I'm on Blender 4.0.2. So there's already Blender 4.1, but something that is not working for me there yet is Wiggle 2 add-on, and until this is fixed on some Blender 1 further version, I cannot use this add-on, so I'll skip to Blender 4.0 for now, so that I can make some physics, armature physics stuff. Alright, so what is the idea here? The main reference that I'm using, I hope you're gonna see the... By the way, you can listen to the same music I'm listening, is this one. It's a long version, 1 hour of Mass Effect. It's a role-playing game, digital, right? CRPG. And there are very cool sci-fi-ish music. So this is not Mass Effect though, this is some other production of Star Trek things, and I don't know if it's a game, what's the reason. I know there's a whole universe in 3D being made on this subject, so this is why maybe there's so many content on that. And what struck my attention here, they have a lot of cool deck ideas and whatever, sci-fi-ish starship interiors, not necessarily of the Enterprise, the starship that the traditional from the old series, but they have a lot of starships with cool designs, in my opinion. Some sort of, it's like business in space. No, not business, politics in space. No, it's like civilization in space in a way that is more like sociable. The universe of Star Trek. Of course, this is not only a Star Trek thing, I think, but Star Trek was a good mainstream production which figured that out in a way that is, let's say, the word civilized is very polluted, right? So but we can still use it, if you get what I mean. So there are cozy spaces, interesting spaces inside starships, and I love this idea. And here maybe not so cozy, but I have, so this, the player goes inside a deck, and you see there's some white space here to start with. We have a, how to say, translate, no, this is not, so, okay, never mind. So you have this ceiling which is roundish, like a half sphere, and then okay, then but this is just the beginning. So there is white space up, not too tall though, not, the height is not that much, but it's many times the human being scale, right? So yeah, the navigation here doesn't help too much, but eventually I'm gonna show what it's all about. So okay, so you see those boxes here, so there are computers, they managed to find the designer actually, or the designers, I don't know, the people who figured this out. They've made these boxes into the wall, so even though you have people facing that wall, there's something of interest to the walls, because there are chairs there, there's even tables and whatever, but there's those studio boxes, right, cubicles, those kind of cubicles, thing for like a company, those kind of things, and this creates a good place, a good spot to get people into, and it's relatively cozy because look at all the space that is here, like it's interesting. And then you have those panels, maybe those panels are not necessary, but you have a difference of spaces besides these walls here. So let's go further. Then of course on the center of this ceiling roundish stuff we have the command center, right, where the commander, captain, whatever is, whoever is, controls. But we have more stuff. So this area is very interesting because I was struggling a lot to get something of this kind, and this idea of having these boxes, I've tried to do that in some other deck projects, deck attempts, but this idea is very interesting. I saw many ones also from some Star Trek deck designs, but this I think is the first time I see this particular approach. It's like it's still open, it's like there's not something that is, you go inside the box, something like nearly a starting play area that you go inside, and then it's also interesting. So I don't have the reference to show you right now, but it doesn't need to do that way to be cool. It can also, this design here, this interior design, showed that it can be done just with some fancy walls like this, and then the chairs facing the wall, and some, of course, window. Of course we could displace this the way this whole thing is rotated, but this idea is much more straightforward and it works, and that's the interesting thing. Then we have this very interesting how to say, ceiling structure that crosses the deck, and I think this is very interesting. There's another one here, so this sort of creates some sort of, it's like this idea that the ceiling is closer to the, so there's a problematic in interiors. If the ceiling is too high, it might not feel very comfortable because the ceiling is not close to us, and this makes the ceiling feeling look like it's close to us, at least some structure of it, some part of it. And so this is a contrasting effect that I never thought about in this case, so this is very, very intriguing. The other way around, of course, the opposite of having a high ceiling would be to have a very low ceiling or relatively low ceiling, which sort of can make things cozier in some sense, but at the same time they can provide some bad claustrophobic feeling to the interior. And this particular interior design allows that both things are combined in some very interesting way. Of course, this is still not the ceiling, but we could make this thing bigger, like as a part of the interior. So you have a high ceiling, low ceiling thing on something like that, and that can be very, of course there will be many ways to do this, but this idea is very interesting. Okay, so I have some command station here in there, and then sort of random, so this was not very well equalized, but the rest, you see how this tapestry or whatever runs. You have some sort of preference to these areas. This looks pretty cool. Then this look here doesn't sound really cool, I think. So it's not like this design is perfect. So it's not I want to copy this. No, I want to borrow some ideas from this stuff. And so I look at this stuff, right? So it could have columns, maybe it could be larger and not just a sort of, how do you call this structure? I don't remember even the name in my own language, Portuguese, so at least in English right now. Okay, so then we have those walls here. So at some point, yeah, it serves to subdivide this region with another region, and then this old school idea of having those control stuff, and then the center command, and so here we have different ideas. So I don't like much this all that we have here. Yes, it's ugly. It's not doing very much. It doesn't dialogue very well with the rest, in my opinion. Of course, it's a solution, so it's still. I think it pollutes too much. The colors also are not good, and so that is all we had in this region. Oh no, the guy is running somewhere else. We have other designs. Yeah, so I think we're back here, right? Yeah, he came back, and then we have a better idea. So you see, it's not, in some areas the ceiling is not very, yeah, so of course it start to become taller at some point, but here it's really start to grow short here. All right, so, and you have this command set. So here also the spacing between these panels and these doesn't seem like a great use of this, in my opinion, but we had great things here. So, and those, I believe there's a side corridor, so there will be two of them. Then yeah, this box thing, cube thing, I don't know, but it's, at least the entrance is kind of cool, because if you see it from a distance, no, not from this angle, I think it's from the beginning we see something about it. Yeah, it's much more in the beginning. Okay, so this sounds good. You see the other side there, so unfortunately when you get close to it, it's not very cool. So you see here, it's one of the small shots here that we've got, that we can see the above this kind of cupola, this spherical, half spherical thing, and you see everything is sort of circular, trying to match that shapes on the top. So that's okay. Even here you see this curvature, but I think there's much more to explore here, and we could, is that a bridge? I mean, the bridge that maybe someone can walk. It's a bit confusing from this. Yeah, so, and so many things in the height could be explored here if this is indeed very elevated, and this I'm not sure about. So anyways, with this I've already presented the basic thing that I want to do in this yeah, deck thing. So I'm start by sketching, and hold on, I will just hold on just in case. Yeah, 3 minute max. I'm just gonna be back very quick. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. I'm back. So now back to the file, and let's erase this thing. So making this interior designs sci-fi-ish is very, very challenging. Well, whatever interior, but particularly what I want to do is very challenging. I have tried many attempts to make those decks in a way that I would find good enough, and so far I have been not successful. In one hand, it relates, of course, to the shading, to the lighting, to the rendering, whatever effects. But on another hand, it's purely about an interior environment design satisfaction. And this is very problematic, sort of a perfectionism of mine, and it's very difficult to get the right idea. So why I have made this? Well, this is just a dummy, and on this time I've calculated the proper proportions with measuring. Of course, the measurings here are wrong if talking universally. Why can hold on. Why? What's happening here? I think we have some something wrong about those things. Yeah, it looks like something is not alright. I don't know what happened here. Yeah, so this was already present. Yeah, let's go back, whatever. Alright, so what I have as measure of this is that I have made a character that I've tried to, and the character measures like 15 meters, which would be sort of, I believe this, no, this is incorrect, of course. I need to make this align with why this is not, oh, because of this. All right, no, still incorrect. So why this is measuring okay, this time it's correct. So you have 15 meters here. Of course, I'm considering this is divided by 10. No, not by 10, but I mean this is like 1.5 meters actually. And the reason why I don't change this scale, which matches more like of the characters what I could imagine for them, the aliens that I have to put here. A special species, sort of space gnome species, right? So they are, they don't measure like, this will be like 2 meters in and so but it's 20 meters. It's okay, I can change that proportion anytime. In principle, of course, this can create some complications, depends on rig, depends on many things. But because my character has physics, and I've heard somewhere that I've read some stuff that the absolute value affects physics. So in the rigging that I've made for the cars, there are hair rigs, cloth rig with some physics, and hence probably I scaled up the character very long time ago and totally forgot about that because of the physics. And currently I'm not sure what would be the effect of the physics on a more like, so that would be the 1.5. So this is what I really wanted, but since there's this physics absolute problem, if I'm trusting this concept, then I need to use 15 meters as if they were 10 times that size. So this is why this dummy measures 15 meters. And so what I'm doing here in this project, I've decided to start to do this is sort of so here's 2 meters, so 2 cubes, right? So what I'm starting to do in this kind of projects is like, oh, now I'm not able to delete this. Oh, there's some selections. No? Yeah, it looks like I can select some stuff, but hold on, maybe I can, no, it only selects through that. Oh, there we go. Ah, okay, it needs to be pushed. Done. So I fixed that thing. I don't use this a lot, so now I think I understand it. So this is very important because as I imported the character, it went in a completely wrong scale according to the scenery, and then I had to scale up or scale down the character, and that my rig wasn't ready for that, and this time I'm getting these things fixed for at once, and so I have made this measurement. So this is just reference for the ceiling here, a low ceiling of course, and we could get a higher ceiling. So at least I'm having the dummy as a reference. I can lock it for now because I don't want to be selecting it. Anyways, I can duplicate it later to put in other positions. I can mirror it. Now this mirror is for itself. Yeah, it has its own mirror, just so that's we can still create another mirror to mirror it to the opposite side. This can be useful instead of creating more dummies, duplicating. So N5 is Neocene 5. So let's start sketching up what we want, right? What I want here. So based on this, let's get some stuff here, right? So this will be a little tricky because I'll need to. Yes, it's hard to. I need to sketch some rough thing. So I probably can hide this for now. Yeah, just hide, simple. What is this? Oh, just some strange effect, right? Alright, so this, by having the dummy, this will give me an idea of how it is. So if I use this tool, stabilize stroke in this setting should be helpful. The settings I'm talking about, yeah, some. Oh, there's a lot of stabilizing actually, much more than I was looking for. But for this sort of sketching, it's not character model sheet, so this doesn't need to be so precise. So this could be good. Placement, yes. So the view or the surface. Stick stroke to surface. I see, but I still have this angle. So to view, no, to view would be the most tragical thing. Unless I'm trying to make, yeah, unless I had a camera right now. It's not the case. I don't want the stroke to be following. So I need, in the case of surface, there's not any surface here, so I think 3D cursor, right? So, okay. This also would rely on the camera, right? So do you have a camera here? Looks like I have a camera, but this is a camera from other piece of things. So what I'm gonna do is to create a camera here. So this will be a new camera object that will be it looks very, very small. So I'm gonna call it, why I have this selected, let's place the camera here. And so this is N5 camera. Alright, then let's try to rotate this. Let's go it apparently I'm not able to change it. Maybe it needs to be active camera. What is the command that I have for active camera here? Set active object as camera, yes. Okay, now I can change, yeah, a pan, a tilt. Where's the tilt? Here, a tilt. So something like that. I want, yeah, of course this angle will never be good. Scaling doesn't do nothing. Let's for this kind of shot, for this camera, maybe it requires some different lens to have more what it was, 50. Yeah, maybe I need something with more larger distance. And the object itself seems a bit, so scale 10. That looks better. Apply, control, apply all transforms, there we go. Okay, it's still not good enough for me, but what it will catch of area, but at least it is there, right? The dummy is not selectable. Let's start to sketch this thing. So you have, yeah, I can have perhaps this camera as they use in the, so if I place the camera here, let's do home, and let's get it here, home again. Seems a bit of displaced here. No, that's fine. And that, and here I don't know what to do with that, so just, alright. So it will be that I would try to make these drawings, the sketch from here. This angle, is this possible? And what happened to the, okay, so it's disappearing for some odd reason. Oh, maybe the camera cannot. Okay, I see. Can I delete this? Okay, let's see, erase. So apparently I cannot draw from the camera, but I can, yeah, turn. Yeah, I can do that. It's still happening the same thing. I think it's bound to the 3D cursor, that could be the case. And now everything is dark for some crazy reason. I don't know what's going on here. I think. Yeah, this is not normal. Swap areas. That's well, okay. Yeah, let's destroy this thing. Don't want to be dealing with that crazy thing. So okay, so I can make a sketch from the top view also, so this would be useful at some point. So there is the dummy. So which area it will occupy? So I need this perspective to create some sense of space. Yeah, the problem is here. Let's bring the camera here. Camera. Align view. Align active camera to view. Control Alt numpad 0. Okay. Sorry, I just need to remember those things. Okay, so here is the... Okay, this is a good angle. Okay, now this is working. So alright, so maybe something like that. Right, so looks like it could be larger in the sides here, even larger than I got here. So you could have some sort of space here for some... Yeah, so this is very difficult to imagine. So you couldn't have a thing that is like flat here, but another the idea is to have this thing elevated, or the opposite. Maybe this thing is bottomed and we have an elevated elevation here, or they are all, or we have some ramp. So there are many things that can be done. The idea here of some sort of ramp. Last time I did some elevation here, I had problems, right? What to put here. It kind of, it's a too, it's very interfering with the, yeah. So let's check again what we have from here. So you see it's mostly flat. Yeah, there are some there's some steps, but yeah, it's kind of interfering in my opinion. So I don't need the center to be exactly where the commander or captain would be. So the problem is that I've chosen an angle that is hard to build these things or stuff like that. So as you can see here, there's not too much value for me on those things from the side of the front of the starship, the front of the deck. I would like that those things were valued somehow. And those structures maybe shouldn't be there too. There could be other things of interest on that part. So if I made that mostly flat, yes, I could have some sort of partial control station about here. Stabilizing is not helping at this point for this detail, so let's reduce this by a lot. Okay, maybe there. Then we don't see very well, but it could be a, yeah. And any captain part could be here. So it will be this sort of structure here, like that'll be something that could take stuff like that, whatever, the same pattern more or less. So we're looking from the back here, and alright, so this is already it's looking good in my opinion. Then I like there's enough space between this and the front here. The sides are still complicated. So here the problem is how to mix this thing with the rest, because of this circular shape usually don't connect very well with whatever is behind. And I've attempted many things. So one thing that could, because we have all this height, I could have some sort of top station, like some sort of, you got the idea, right? Some sort. I've did this already another design, but it ended up that I wasn't using it very smartly. But I love this idea of like have a floating station that look like a temple or a church, you know. There's something like that in very impressive in the Italy, Rome or Vatican, I'm not sure, I think it's Rome. It's the yeah, what's the name of that? Yeah, so of course it's a Baroque thing, probably. Yeah, those things are very arbitrary, so I'm not gonna detail this right now, but this already impresses the idea in some way. Yes, so it's like a ceiling, right? So this can, and if it got any stuff like that, that could be cool, right? But I'm not sure right now what it could be. Like it's a an alien thing, right? So like a web stuff, right? I think that's kind of cool. It creates this sort of wall pilar stuff that they create some interest, logical interest in the surroundings, right? Stuff that can be used for multiple purpose. They create purpose, right? In an elegant way. This one maybe is not that good actually. Something wrong I'm doing about it. It's not looking good. Maybe it needs something like that, or maybe there needs to be a bigger one. I don't know. Oh yes, this creates kind of or maybe it could go like an opening here, like you enter like a zone. No, too difficult. Yes, this one is difficult, but these ones start to be interesting, I think. Yeah, no, in the center is usually bad. This is kind of cool, these side ones. I'm gonna retain them. And here I'm not sure, so they could even go further. Yes, so you have like this sort of area like that, right? Yeah, this is very yeah, we can get the idea here. It's interesting. So but it cannot take all the interest, right? It still needs to be relatively open, so must be careful about those things. So maybe these ones are not ideal. At least this side one seems to be cool. And maybe they could be displaced then later. Alright, so now from this angle I don't have, yeah, so now this is reliable to, this is why this is on the camera. So it makes little sense to look from this on any other angle except for this one. This is difficult to do in 3D usually, but the cool thing is that I could have drawn this in a sketch of paper and keep visualizing it, but here I can make direct comparison with what is being built and what is sketched, so it can probably be used in good ways. And I still lack the rest, right? So because I'd have for that another angle, so I'm gonna camera 1, let's duplicate. Yes, at this point I think instead of trying to design the back part, the side part, which is actually important, but I believe if I start trying to model this thing from here, I can probably reach some interesting results already, and then I can, if needed, draw the rest. The problem here is that, yeah, this I don't remember facing this problem. This will only appear everywhere. Unless I can hide some stuff from this particular scene. Probably there's a way to do that, so let's see. A grease pencil is not annotations. Annotations, there we go. Alright, so that's the way to go. Let's just see here, is there... Okay, so no annotations here, so it's just there, but we got it. So yes, that's the way to go. Now, it'll be a bit difficult, but let's go back to the tools. So I'll maintain this because of the proportions. I need some sort of reference for the height, but I could do better in this sense, so maybe I can, let's make a sort of, I've made a new shortcut for flipping faces. Ctrl-Alt-N on edit mode. Let's use the screencast. So here I can, yeah, I probably can delete this. Then I'm gonna, can I close this? No, it doesn't work, so I need that. Then merge by distance, there we go. So here, extrude, face, doesn't know what to do. Then here, okay, so this will be like some sort of stupid ceiling reference. Here we can also keep growing this. I don't know how high this thing will be, and to keep knowing about this reference, let's just skip this. Because I'm sort of doing a proto-modular this interior design. So this means that I'm trying to make things halfway modular in some way. Yes, my music got interrupted. Okay, this is a change in... Let's go back to the music that I was listening to. Once again, 1 hour of this. So, yeah, this shot is bad. Okay, this shot is inspiring enough, so... but it's not exactly what I want. So, there is some spacing it's like cool to create from an entrance like that, or an exit, depending from the point of view we're talking about. So it's all about the interaction of things that can cross the whole area. So in this case, this is a bit confusing. I don't know what is this cross, because I don't know if it's a visual illusion that I'm having, but it looks like this thing is not exactly in the center. But I understand that this equals this, is symmetric, so this is an interesting thing. So those walls here, those structures, they are more to the sides. And so it's like in between the entrance there would be a structure like that. And then again, so this creates like, it's not doing great favor here in this sense, but we have a separation between the middle part and those control walls there, control stations there. So, and here also this might be subdividing this central area from this, but it's not, it's very blurry, the ambience separation, right? Is not it. We can maintain this whole idea, but we can make these separations more impactful, I think, in some way. So the idea of having them crossing near the edge of the room for each side, it's actually interesting. But the illusion here is that this could even, we can see it as a bridge, so this gives some things to think about. Considering would be enough height in this room, in this deck, we could try to explore some secondary levels, floors, right, in the same deck thing. So, but this I'm still yet to consider. Alright, so I'm sort of calculating that the height could be something like that, the maximum, maybe even more. And I need this reference to know about, it will be easier to see whatever. So here what I can do is start to visualize the okay, so I'm snapping, yeah, I'm snapping with this. I can try, yeah, let's keep extruding this. Another whole cube maybe, exactly in the center. Is that fine? I think this is too big already. Yeah, so maybe this cube is enough. And if I were to bring this to, so I'm doing very, very analytical because I'm tracking this idea of space, so to sustain this whole idea of, here I know it's just 3, yeah, it will be safe. This whole idea of how did I said, this whole idea of modular thing. So we are not seeing very well what's happening from this angle. yeah, the distortion is very big from that camera, of course, so I'm not supposed to look that far away. So it's difficult to see where this line will be really going, but I believe this is more or less the idea here. So right now, yeah, I could delete this, but maybe I can use this later, so this is why. Yeah, let's delete it for now. Then, of course, I probably could pick these ones and try to displace them to the side, like for some reason they are not matching. Now they are. Alright, this we can bevel, do whatever we want later, so this is not particularly important to be like that. Probably I can just can do that or do that. I'm not sure. Doesn't really matter for now. Can always reassess this later. What is this here? Looks like there's some floating. Something is floating there. Is that the camera? Yeah, the camera is very small. I thought I had... maybe when I applied... Yeah, I cannot apply scale. Did I apply scale? No, it's still 10. It doesn't apply all transforms? No. Alright, so who knows, it's something happened to that camera. But okay, now it's fine. Regarding the continuation here, of course this wall, maybe this whole thing is like not very good, so I'm just gonna there's nothing happened here, so let's just connect here, subdivide, then do this. Something is going wrong. I think I need to merge first. Alright, so this is floating box is just for reference. Extrude there, and this is a stupid, not a very interesting subdivision, but I can, yeah, just move it. Why it's not selecting? There we go. Move it there. There we go. For now it's good enough, but I could still subdivide there in the middle. Okay, so I'm still lacking a lot of stuff, right? So the floor, right? Let's get this floor and expand it. I see. So this could be already a good distance. So here we can probably expand until here. See, it is already making a difference there. Here we can bring it here, extrude to here. Let's first make these extrusions, of course, then yeah, let's delete these ones. I'm not seeing where this is going. I hope it's, yeah, it's going in the right position. It's clipping, so this should be fine. And of course here we got let's fix that, and let's dissolve this. Let's hide this face, delete that face, and hide. Is everything merged by distance? 3 vertex merged, that seems good. Yes. Maybe I should give this dummy a material so it stops getting confused with the rest. I have a lot of material in this scene, but okay, why this is not working? I need a light in this scene, maybe? Or something is broken here. Maybe this material is using some texture that what is this? Something is bizarre in this. It's EV. Why I don't have ambient occlusion? Maybe the materials are, the shaders are all diffuse, okay, but okay, maybe it's a light thing then. I doubt it's a light thing. So let's reduce this strain. Yeah, so another mystery here, something broke on my materials. What about this one? Totally broken. Oh, of course, I was on the face orientation. I have this Shift, Control, Alt, N. Nothing is bizarre, it's just my mistake, very basic mistake. I took that blue thing as a texture problem. Okay, so here what I can do here, Yeah, I don't want anything for this material currently, so I'm just gonna delete that. But for the dummy, certainly, yes, let's get it some, I don't know, rock. 2, okay. At least it will be looking at it. No, it is too confusing. Let's get something simpler. Static lamp? No. Some metal white. That's fine. And here, no material yet. And here we also are using this, so let's change this vision. Let's reinforce the annotations, maybe change its color. Augment opacity, change to, I don't know, something that is easier to see. That's good. So I have 1 hour already on this stream. Let's go for another 1 hour maybe. Something is slightly lagging. Maybe it's just the ambient occlusion. No, it's the material, it's the light. It's the light, is all this stuff that are going on. So a bit annoying, but we can survive for now. At least we have better vision on whatever is going around. What I could do instead would be just to hide the sun. Yeah, much better now, because I don't need this lighting yet. Let's save. So of course I would need to make those lines curved, right? Because this is something circular. But this would make my work of my attempt of making this whole thing more modular would be turned slightly more difficult if I start doing this right now. So there is not trivial. Okay, I'm trying to sort of match the idea there, but I need to consider from other angles now. Yes, so the back side we see all these. Oh, let's see that. Yeah, okay. Let's see where I start to lose vision. So in principle, here I don't have this, and I barely have this in the camera, in that view. Yeah, so I don't see this. So this is all new. And if that's the case, this position where this character is exactly where the... So I can pick this stuff just for now and maybe make a duplicate of the dummy. I'm just gonna move this like behind, somewhere like here, just for now. Then I get the dummy. Let's do an Alt D. Actually it didn't work. Let's do it again. Alt D. So this is just placing it anywhere here just to follow. It's still too close, this stuff. It will cause some problem in the visualization at some point. So it also doesn't need to be that large. So let's delete all that and just close that. Okay, this is better. This is still on the way. It's not favorizing my visualization, so maybe I should get this thing here. Do that. Then delete this. Make sure this is alright. Then let's move this to the side a lot. Yeah, maybe I'm just wasting too much time with this little detail, but it's important for me because I want to use this for this this idea, like something like that, right? And that there could be many places in this whole area that could have those kinds of structure. They don't need to be crossing like that. It could be even something like near the wall, maybe the ceiling is lower, stuff like that, or maybe in a large area everything on the ceiling is lower. That I can play with that, right? So here the common thing, probably I could create a new object, but another idea would be to build with that, right? Usually it's easier with another object, right? So from my experience, let's do another cube. Okay, so why? Okay, so it's hard to get this on the right scale. Okay, what's happening to it? It's the same object. Okay, so selection. Now we have a separate, so that will be a command, whatever. And yeah, let's scale this to scale. Okay, what's happening with scale that it doesn't scale up? No. Scale. It doesn't answer to the scale. So let's do here. Oh, it's a numpad. Right. That's done. So object apply scale, subdivide in the middle, don't need what is in the bottom, and here of course we can create a mirror modifier. It's already because it was copied, right? So good, so I don't have to bother with that. That will be very simplified, so I'm not gonna care too much here about the Yeah, this is I'm certainly getting this thing overly complicated, right? So many simpler ways to achieve this, right? So here, what's happening here? Okay, just something like that should be just to give some idea. And yes, of course, this is very blocky abstract. It's just it won't be good enough in this for all that we need to address here, but at least we can position something like that. Of course, the drawing here was a bit displaced. We can bring this thing here. Alright, then another Alt D, let's place another dummy here. So dummy, yeah, those are fine. Okay, so this means now that we can start, so there's the ceiling, the main ceiling I mean, and then there's this other thing that we're not doing very well here. Interesting, this is just a shadow, I think. But doesn't matter. We could change this sun. Or I can keep it, but then I'll create other lights that will do different effects. So for now, that's acceptable. Okay, so I need to create this thing and needs to have the proper height. So currently, as you can see, first this is displaced, so I need to bring this somewhere here. Yeah, so it can go sort of here. That seems to be the right place. From this simple structure, I can already sort of centralize this thing. Yeah. Alright, and then so I could go way more organic on all this thing, right? But because I'm on this whole notion of getting this stuff, what's happening here? I'm not being able to select things because of the mirror. Because I'm using this strategy of, okay, this was wrong. Because I'm investing in the idea of half modular things, I'm trying to get this very precise and maybe that will be useful later on. when it comes about the combination of certain elements. Of course, eventually there should come a time in the smaller details where those things should all be, yeah, should forget about this excessive attention with modular stuff, because otherwise you can get in, it will be very difficult to get, time consuming to get into interesting details, and I don't have an aesthetics for modular designs. So the modular thing is more about the generic proportions of everything, and as we go into more details, I don't want to be however, for larger designs like such as this, I want to keep something more like modular. I don't want to doing freehand stuff unless it really starts to hinder my creativity. So for now it seems to be working, except for smaller details it's not. Okay, so now the problem, of course, is that I can already visualize where this thing is, and I don't have the geometry to make this stuff, unfortunately, but I can play with that from some extra thing, maybe. Yeah, so maybe I can make some crazy extrusions, I don't know. Yes, if only that thing would not clip. Okay, I have a better idea. So since there is clipping, maybe I can do this, then I can do this, and then I can do this. And so now that will be fine to get this. Here is a situation where we have this very diagonal thing, so it doesn't need to be very precise in my opinion. So here the grid is also not, yeah, even how to see the grid from some sort of yeah, there's not a grid reinforcer here, I think. So transparent, this geometry is not, yeah, this is something else. I don't know what is this. Yeah, so unfortunately I cannot see the grid even. Okay, I can see, oh, finally, okay. It's the material. So here, there we go. So I'm gonna skip this one. So yeah, we're keeping some half modular thing here. We see that we are starting to reach for, this will be the, yeah, this is maybe this was a wrong idea, but let's continue. not sure if this is working properly. I don't know what's happening to the mesh. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so you see that this starts to create something of interest. Of course, it's too bold, too uninteresting right now, but it will be more like side stuff, the good one. So what I can do though is reuse those things, but for that front part. So I'm gonna just move this like that. Something like that, kind of crazy. Yeah, with better spacing this is much better now. This looks like a portal or some... It's a bit scary, but that's cool. It's alien stuff, alien architecture. So here we go. Looks like some fangs or from a spider, or even some legs, frontal legs, I don't know. So here I have a problem here, so I don't have this mesh secured, so I'm just gonna, yeah, whatever, let's just do this. And I want to secure the side here and see if that's working fine. So same thing here, let's half modular thing, then yeah, it can already go down. I don't know about this. I can see the design here, and so here I think I require some rotations. Rotate individuals on Y maybe, yeah, something like that. Extrude Z, whatever, something like that. That's fine. Let's see now. Yeah, they are too bold, but the idea of the design, they are more or less matching. But in 3D, maybe this thing is taking too much space, I'm not sure. I'll dramatically try to reduce it. Maybe this needs to be larger, wider. Let's try that. Let's try some rotation here. Let's try to scale like that. Yeah, this is more likely. As for these ones, still having problems there. What about that? It's a bit crazy, but not necessarily bad. No, that, yeah, it's a bit crazy, too crazy. So I don't know what's this. Oh, of course they seem to have some problem here on the geometry. Let's push this back. Yeah, there seems to be some problems here, so hard to fix right now. I can rebuild this. These are sort of base mesh stuff, so that's not really to care about right now. just some basic stuff. It can get better, that's enough. Then we have perhaps this, let's bring this down. This opening, yeah, so whatever thing that will be here, it seems to be too affected by those structures, and so maybe I need to scale this down. It will be hard to do this, what I want here, without having properly assessed what would be going there, right? So here first, another thing that might be relevant is to bring this forward even more. Alright, good. And then for the last, when this part is circular, that will be better. Then the back part, I think I'll just try to extrude from here. Or to make it simpler. And here, yeah, I'll try to ignore about the proportions. I mean the proportions regarding the all this going up, that would be crazy. The proportions regarding the modular thing. So I just want to see what those things can do. And actually those ones can be bigger. There's no face there, it's just a okay, so from I barely see, but if I expand this and hide, we can see very well. It's here. So it's sort of, I wasn't even looking at that, so I did from memory, and it's sort of matching. So I don't need to retake too much, so it's just about here the impression that it gives, if it's good enough as it is, or should it. Yeah, so the problem here, yeah, many problems. So first, whatever this would do, the ceiling here is not good. It's just too low in relation to that. So I'll have to, now I'm gonna use the proportions. Let's try this. This already looks better. So it's not that all the ceiling needs to be like that, but we could have different levels. But currently this is not, still I think it could be higher. So the next level would be something like half cube. So I'm afraid this will be too much. Yeah, that's a lot. Um, if I check what we have here, this is like one, this is half cube height, maybe a little less. I could make this maybe not that tall, so to match half the cube, so maybe that will be good, so I'm not sure, so let's try this. Here I can level this to some x0 and then down to 1 just for now. The difference here that I've made, I have approached this to the ground. It was better here in the design, I think, but even so, when I mounted here, it didn't seem leveled up enough. So this is working, but let's try some more. Let's make a bit more tests here. So what about, because this is quite interesting. So what if this would be here? Ignore the rest. Yeah, it's cozier if it's short, but it doesn't need to be that. So this is already quite interesting. Less than that, I think it's too enclosed. This is better. This is how it was. Yes, something like that. If I compare this with, this is the drawing, this is very high. And I wasn't satisfied on that in the 3D. This is very tall, and this kind of starts to make, oh yes, this is even more tall, yeah. And more than that, I think it will be exaggeration. Yeah, no, not required. So let's see. If I get up to 1 full cube, what does this look like? Yeah, this is exaggerated. It's cool, but it's not what I think it's too much. So maybe, what about here? Yeah, that's good. 1 small cube, that works, but it's too tall, so let's return here. This is still middle term thing. It's much larger than the drawing. Let's try less 1 cube. Still working. Still nice place that it creates inside. And here is like the drawing. Yeah, and here okay, I'm starting to sort of like this in the end. So of course there's the impression from the inside and the impression from the outside, so must consider that. No. The impression from the outside too big. That's interesting, impressive, but it's not necessary. This is a good impression from the outside when we have like 0.8 cubes, large cubes. So 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, yeah, 8 small cubes. Here is an impression with 7 small cubes. 7 is good. Yes, 7 is good from the interior, quite big. If you can have, imagine having glasses here, would be cool. And it has also good impression from the outside. Of course, not from all angles, but okay, it looks like. Then this is nearly the size of the design. Of course, the design, the sketch is better in the sense that it's rounder, it's larger ceiling. I could change that, right? If I scaled those things to the, I can do that on this scale Shift Z, no, scale Shift Z. No, it's not working. Okay, individual Shift Z. Okay, no, whatever, individual S Shift Z. Yeah, it will never match the effect of the rounder that I have here, but let's continue here. So I have this angle. Let's expand these selections, right? So I was on 7, 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7. Then this will be 6. Still good. And from the slightly cozier but less impressive. So I think 0.7 is the very subtle, right? But this can do a lot of difference. So here there's slightly more space, and we'll have to work a lot on these designs in order to be good anyway. So right now it's very rough. And so this is interfering with whatever else we can design here. Okay, then for the back part of this, which I don't have design stuff going on yet. I won't be able to address that without proper with more thinking. And so here what I can do from this is perhaps to I'm extruding, but instead I can bring them to the next cube. Merge by distance. So these are merged. This thing is not doing well, of course, in a great deal, because this thing is ugly. So it's like terrible right now. The area behind this is very important, so maybe I'll have to guarantee there's enough space for what's behind. Let's see. And this area is a problem now. It's like this thing being too big and too large. It's really spoiling whatever happens here. Here we can say that too, but this one will be very smaller. So this is why perhaps I'm having a new idea here. Maybe the whole idea of modular thing, maybe I have to make up my mind about that, because it takes too much time and there's too many limitations. So maybe the idea would be going very rough and free hand in the modeling to start with, and then as it comes to some final refinements, then try to adapt that to some sort of yeah, you got the idea, to some sort of modular thing. So it's like a polishing by changing whatever it takes to get those proportions, those geometries, those shapes adapted to the conforming to the some logic of the grid. There's probably this is probably workable very easily if we don't get too much into details to start with, and then the details can go later, like sort of ignoring. And then we can also consider different levels grading of detailment. So we could consider details that are made on top of a large cube, large how to say, square, and then details which are made from smaller tiny squares. And so this can give some guidance in this process. So this seems very large, but this proposes a good thing for a deck where once we have this kind of stuff. So if I compare the other side, we see that this starts to make sense. This I'm not sure. So here I think I'm gonna take a break. I need to think more about that and maybe change the approach about what I was talking about. Of course, the materials here would help a lot, and a more free addressing of all that, right? So let's see what we can get here already with the materials, some quick materials here. Of course, here we'll create material everywhere, so it's not the, let's try, I don't know. So if I pick this and I invert, then I can do that. Then this is another object, right? So here we can, I don't care about that. Here all that object can be, I don't know, some metal. Yeah, those materials need some serious revisioning anyways, but it's very simple stuff for now. It was supposed to be stylized, maybe with some to be done on EV, but maybe with some how to say, the cycles maybe that can run. Well, let's try a render here. So I'm gonna save, turn to cycle. This sunlight is destructive. I thought I've reduced this sunlight to nothing. let's check something in the preference. No. Yes, I'm using some renders, so let's see. Strain, yeah. Okay, I don't understand why this is so... Maybe there's another source that I'm not seeing. But I've got everything. Okay, so definitely there is... I don't see any source that is doing that. Strange thing. Okay, let's delete that. And it's still doing that, so... I have no idea, okay. And EV. Okay, nothing special. Alright, so I don't know, some settings that I've made for EV, or maybe it's a world thing, wasn't ready for cycles, so... Yes, I already said. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. That was certainly just a beginning, right? So much more work to do here. I hope that was slightly interesting. So I'll see how I can improve that, and maybe at some point bring a better version of that, more inspiring certainly. So see ya, folks. Take care. Happy blending.